Hello everyone, Mr. Beefy here. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I haven't been putting out comic reviews lately. I've been a little bit busy. So instead of doing a review right now, I just kind of wanted to show everyone what my weekly pulls were and some of the pickups that I got from my local comic shop this week. So the first thing I'm going to start with are my reorders. So these are things that I later found that I was interested in, and the first one is Toxic Super Beast. What got me interested in ordering volume 1 of this is I saw the preview, or I saw the blurb of volume 2 in last month's previews. It's basically a kaiju manga that has some, that they call them Toxic Super Beast. It sounded kind of interesting, and the first one was already out, so I went ahead, ordered number 2, and reordered this one, and thankfully it came in pretty quick. But with some of the art there, looks like it could be pretty cool. I don't know anything about it, but it is put out by Titan Comics or Titan Manga, so I'll be excited to read that. Another thing I'm excited for was Ghost Machine from Image Comics. If you don't know anything about Ghost Machine, I would encourage you to look it up. I am late to the party on it. However, this should get me caught up in Redcoat, which I've really been enjoying. If you like, basically, it's kind of like a historical fiction. Basically, the main character, Simon Pierre here, was a redcoat, but he's immortal, so it's following him through time. But all of the Ghost Machine stuff is kind of tied together, because like another one of my reorders is Geiger 13, so this is 25 years in the future, and it's kind of like an post-apocalyptic, dystopian type situation. Really good, fun read. And Hyde Street is also a part of the Ghost Machine imprint. I haven't read much of it, but what little I have, I've enjoyed. So those were some of my reorders that I'm slowly getting caught up on. It's probably going to be hard to find single issues in a lot of places. So if you're interested in, I would encourage you to at least look up the Ghost Machine, see if you're interested, and maybe order some of the trades, because everything I've been reading from the Ghost Machine imprint has been good. And that brings us to the new stuff this week. So this week we got a new previews magazine. If you don't know what that is, this is what retailers use to order comics, and it's usually about 2 months in advance. So this is the May one, so these are going to be comics for that should be coming out, a majority of them in July. But has little previews. Yes, it's talking about Free Comic Book Day, even though there's nothing in it. But yeah, this goes through a lot of the comic publishers. Has about everything you could possibly want in it. Ooh, Godzilla. I'll have to look at that because me and Junior are Godzilla fans. Godzilla First 70 Years, the official illustrated history hardcover. Ooh. We'll have to look at that, but you know, maybe I could save that for a different video. That's the order form. Here is the DC order form. Same principle. You're looking at, this is the May one for about 2 months out. Same way with Fantastic Four. I know we're going to be a little bit excited for right here. So Godzilla versus the Marvel, or destroys the Marvel universe. That should be fun. And here are the new comics. Godzilla versus Los Angeles, part of the Godzilla versus America from ID Comics. Have not read it yet, but looks promising pretty early on. I enjoyed the Chicago one. Now this one I have not read yet, but Junior had to look at it when we were at the comic shop and picked it up, and he gave it his thumbs up. As you can probably tell by the cover, we're going to have some Venom antics going on, but I'll probably review this one if Junior wants to look at it. This should be the final issue of The Question All Along the Watchtower. Big Renee Montoya fan. Been enjoying this comic. Strongly encourage you to go read Gotham Central, which was mainly about the police department in Gotham, and Renee Montoya was one of the recurring characters in that. This was something that neither me or the comic shop owner knew much about. He didn't order this, but he got charged for it. We weren't sure about a price on it, but I saw down here it said $1.99. So if he was supposed to give them away for free, he got $1.99 out of me, but he's a pretty awesome guy. He takes care of me as a customer. so it is well worth it. Just to try out something new and different. Give me a little preview of it. So I don't know much about that. This one's called Lost Fantasy from Image #1. It looks like it's going to be kind of a anthology type book. There's more than one story going on in it. Then the continuation of Rogue the Savage Land. This is issue 4. I have issue 3 and I haven't read it yet, but I believe this one's only going 5 issues if I remember correctly, so I might get caught up on that one soon. Rise of the Skywalker #3. I was not a huge fan of the movie. I will say I feel like the comic is doing a better job in the first 2 issues of telling the story than what the movie did. So, you know, if you're a Star Wars fan but you're kind of questioning that, you might give this one a try. And the newest Ultimate Spider-Man. And then The Last Ronin 2. Typically get the Eastman covers, but this one's fine. And then the Savage Sword of Conan magazine from Titan Comics. If you are a sword and sorcery fan, I would highly encourage you to check out Titan Comics' run of not only Conan the Barbarian, but the Savage Sword of Conan. But yeah, if you're a fan of sword and sorcery or old comics, I would definitely encourage you to check out the Savage Sword of Conan. I won't flip through it too much because it is a mature title, so sometimes there is some nudity and stuff in it, and I don't need my channel getting dinged for that. So that is it for my reorders and new stuff, and while I was there, I can't help but dig around for some deals, and with the new Godzilla vs. America Los Angeles and Godzilla vs. the Amazing Spider-Man, this was definitely a Godzilla-filled week for me and Junior at the comic shop, and it did not stop at the new stuff, but also went into some of the older stuff that we found. So I've been going to this comic shop for a long time, and rarely do we ever see the original Marvel Godzilla comics come through. These were in rough condition, so I got mostly everything in here for $1 or less, but we got 3 issues of Godzilla King of the Monsters from the 70s. So Junior was excited to see those, and he was excited to see this, a pretty rough version of the DC Masters of the Universe. I went ahead and picked it up because like Junior saw it and he's like, ooh, what is that? And you know, we play with Masters of the Universe action figures, and while I do have a nice copy of this, this is definitely a reader copy that I can give my kid, and if he tears it up, hey, I don't have to worry about it, but it's still good reading even though it's in rough shape. So those were probably the Godzilla ones were probably my favorite ones that I found this week, because that's not typical for me to find. And some of the other stuff is I got a huge chunk of Action Comics. I thought this one was pretty funny because it has the Supermobile and a Mazo on it, and there's another one of it. But yeah, gotta go into your comic shop. Never know what you're gonna get, but everything in this stack I probably got for $1 or less. Junior will like the cover on that one. It's the monster. But yeah, a lot of Action Comics filling in holes in my collection. And it should be coming to the end of the Action Comics stash. There's the Amazing Bug, I believe. I love these old covers that have the word bubbles on it. They need to go back to doing that. Now we move into some older books. So here's an old Avengers, number 35. Pretty rough condition, but like I said, it was $1. You know, so you can't beat that price. But yeah, this is from '66. But it's rough, but it's all there and still good reading. So you can't go wrong. And a little bit more recent Avengers. Similar to Action Comics, filling in some holes, and then got some old Batman as well. So this is a 12 center 212, pretty rough. This is from 1969. The Baffling Deaths of the Crime Czar. But yeah, you know, if you can get old Batman cheap, you might as well pick it up. Here's another one, Batman 215. I've done as you commanded, Wayne Manor, and everyone in it has been destroyed. And call me master. Yeah, I like these old style covers. They're campy, but they're fun. And that's what comics are supposed to be, is fun. Yeah. Stuff there. Another one. Giant one. This is a reprint of Batman 93 from 1955. So this one is probably going to be a cool one to easily read some older Batman issues. And Batman in the Shadow. New Avengers, this is the Batman New Adventures. It's still under the Batman, but this is actually like a second printing or something. It's not a first printing, I know that. I think it came in a package of something because they said DC Comics aren't just for kids. And I think there was a chunk of comics from this era that were second printings that were done that way. Some more Batman, some Catwoman there. And then some Fantastic Four, a chunk of Fantastic Four. Filling in the gaps in my collection there. Cool Galactus cover. I'm kind of excited to see the new movie, not gonna lie. I've actually not really been excited for a Fantastic Four movie ever, but this is gonna be the first one that I'm excited to see. Then we got a giant size Superstars. And this has got some Buckler art, and Conway's the writer. Yeah, I don't know much about this title. So these are all fairly rough, but you know, for the price, can't beat them. And some Incredible Hulk. And I think, oh, one old Iron Man that I randomly didn't have. And Power Pack, good kid comic. So I picked that up. But yeah, that was my trip to the comic shop this week. Have a lot more comics on the inventory and get in there, but let me know if there was anything you saw that you really liked, whether it was the new comics, reorders, or just my dollar bin diving. I will have to say, I think out of the dollar bin, these Godzilla ones were my favorite, just because we never get to see them, and Junior was so excited to see not only these old ones, but also the new ones we got this week with Spider-Man versus Godzilla. And like I said, he really liked it, so I'm going to be excited, and I'm probably going to read it after I do finish this video up. So I'm going to go ahead and let that be the end here. I want to thank you for stopping by. I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and shared the video. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day.